Former President Donald Trump, never one to shy away from bold pronouncements, sent shockwaves through the global financial system on November 30, 2024. His weapon of choice? A threat. A threat of imposing a staggering 100% tariff on all goods imported from BRICS nations should they proceed with their ambitious plan to introduce a new shared currency. This declaration, delivered with characteristic bluntness on his platform Truth Social, immediately thrust the future of global trade and the long-standing dominance of the US dollar into uncertainty. Trump's statement, while lacking in specifics, was unambiguous in its intent to deter the BRICS nations from undermining the US dollar's central role in international trade. The move, reminiscent of his previous tariff battles with China, signaled his willingness to employ aggressive tactics to protect what he perceives as core American economic interests. This latest salvo in the global currency war raises critical questions about the future of international finance and the balance of power on the world stage. Will BRICS, emboldened by its recent expansion, back down in the face of Trump's threat? Or will they forge ahead with their plan, potentially triggering a global trade war? The stakes, as they say, are incredibly high. To understand the significance of Trump's threat, one must first grasp the growing influence of the BRICS bloc. Initially an acronym for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, BRICS has undergone a significant transformation in 2024. The bloc welcomed new members including Iran, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Ethiopia, and Egypt, signaling a shift in the global economic landscape. This expansion is not merely symbolic. It represents a substantial increase in the bloc's economic weight and geopolitical clout. BRICS now accounts for a significant portion of the world's population, GDP, and natural resources. This growing power, coupled with a shared desire to challenge the existing global order, has emboldened BRICS to explore alternatives to the US dollar. The expansion of BRICS signifies a move towards a multipolar world where power is distributed among multiple centers rather than concentrated in the hands of a few, like the G7. This shift in the balance of power has been amplified by the bloc's exploration of a new shared currency, a move perceived by some as a direct challenge to the US dollar's hegemony. The motivation behind BRICS' pursuit of a new currency is multifaceted, but the primary driver is clear: to reduce reliance on the US dollar. This desire stems from several factors, including concerns about the volatility of the dollar, the impact of US economic policies on emerging economies, and the use of the dollar as a tool of economic statecraft. For countries like Russia, China, and Iran, which have faced sanctions from the West, the need to find alternatives to the dollar-dominated financial system is even more urgent. These nations see a new currency as a way to mitigate the impact of sanctions and reduce their vulnerability to US pressure. The potential benefits of a new BRICS currency extend beyond simply reducing reliance on the dollar. It could facilitate trade between member states, lower transaction costs, and provide greater stability and predictability in international transactions. However, the feasibility of such an ambitious project remains uncertain, with many experts expressing skepticism about the ability of such a diverse group of nations to agree on a common currency framework. Trump's threat of imposing a 100% tariff on BRICS nations is not an isolated incident. It reflects his broader America First agenda, and his belief that the US has been taken advantage of in the global trading system. Throughout his presidency, and now in his post-presidency, Trump has consistently advocated for protectionist trade policies, arguing that they are necessary to protect American jobs and industries. His threat to BRICS, however, goes beyond mere protectionism. It strikes at the heart of the global financial system by challenging the dominance of the US dollar. A 100% tariff, if implemented, would have far-reaching consequences, disrupting global supply chains, increasing the cost of goods for American consumers, and potentially triggering a trade war. While some experts have dismissed Trump's threat as bluster, arguing that such tariffs would be difficult to implement and enforce, others see it as a sign of his willingness to upend the global economic order in pursuit of his goals. The potential fallout from such a move is difficult to predict, but it is clear that the stakes are high, not just for the US and BRICS but for the entire world. The world watches with bated breath as this high-stakes game of economic chess unfolds. Will BRICS blink in the face of Trump's tariff threat, Or will they double down on their pursuit of a new global reserve currency? The answer to this question has profound implications for the future of the global economy and the balance of power in the 21st century. One thing is certain, the global order is in flux. The rise of BRICS, the declining influence of the West, and the weaponization of trade and finance have created a volatile and uncertain environment. The threat of a 100% tariff on BRICS is just the latest tremor in a world on the brink of a seismic shift. The path forward is fraught with risk. The world stands at a crossroads, facing a choice between cooperation and conflict, between a rules-based order and a descent into economic nationalism. The decisions made in the coming months and years will determine the fate of the global economy and the shape of the world to come.